Hey, 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 we live. And Sean is still
Hey.
right at the drop this time. What's up, Sean?
Hey, what's going on,
I
everybody?
missed us last week. That's what it was.
I mean,
What it was?
every chance I get, I'm gonna be here. Unfortunately, my demanding job be taking too much of my time, and I gotta start giving them all that time.
Listen, I ain't mad at you. Make your money, build your legacy, honey. It ain't nothing wrong with it. Do your do.
Absolutely.
I mean, I feel that, and I understand that, but at a certain time, there's got to be that work-life balance. And right now, I be letting work take too much of my time. So
they be treating you like their big time.
Ain't no work-life balance if you can't work, because
that's true.
You gotta take care of yourself. I was just teaching that in the training today with time management skills. Like, people don't understand wellness is a part of your time management skill. Self-care is a part of your time management skill. Because if you fucked up and in your sick bed, they gonna replace you. They gonna be fine. You ain't gonna be fine.
Listen, I have really embraced that lately, and I'm gonna tell you why. For a couple of reasons. One, I've been real sick, y'all, for the last like 6 weeks. And I still been like trying to make things happen and stuff. But I've also lost a few friends and a few family members in these last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And what I did realize is that you're right. Life goes on whether you're here or not. What will happen is they will send flowers to your family and an ad to the internet at the same time.
They'll pour out a little liquor for you and they'll keep it the fuck moving. And their job will replace you tomorrow with another ad or putting somebody else in your position with a promotion or a few dollars per hour. You get what like these jobs. I'm all about making your money, but these jobs and these businesses are not worth us going to an early grade. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all with you, Sean. Make your money. But yes, work-life balance, take care of yourself, get your rest, y'all. Make sure y'all eating healthy. Make sure you exercising so you don't slap a bitch and end up in jail. Like,
and if you feel like you're sick, go see about yourself.
Yes.
If you've done some over-the-counter stuff for, I can give it 5 days. If you've done over-the-counter stuff for 5 days consistently and you're not getting any better, go see a doctor, because it's probably something seriously wrong that over-the-counter can't fix.
I'm gonna advocate even before you start doing
I know a herbalist.
Not only that, herbalist, but I'm gonna advocate up your water intake. A lot of the times we're dealing with dehydration. A lot of the times we're dealing with lethargy because we're not active, right? And not picking at you, but I'm talking about in general. Like, people will seriously be like, "I don't feel good." When's the last time you went for a fucking walk? When's the last
time? I don't know. Walking ain't gonna help me breathe though.
Not you, bitch. Be quiet.
If my chest is caved in and shit, I'm pretty sure I'm sick.
Your ass can't breathe. We ain't talking about you. But seriously though, like, I'm with you. Yes. If you got to take some Tylenol or, a little cough medicine or something, don't sit there and be like, I'm going to tough it out. You don't get cool points for toughing shit out at this point in life. Like, that puts you in the grave early too, right? But y'all, get up and go for a walk. Like, ain't nothing wrong with having a little sippy sip. That's part of our theme on this show, sippy sip, right? What you sipping on? But make sure you're drinking water. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you're eating the rainbow, eating leafy greens and fruits and vegetables. Don't just be like, I don't feel good, let me take some medicine. Because a lot of times that medicine will mask it and you'll feel better, but there's still something seriously wrong. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't feel better. And that's the problem. That's how I knew something was seriously wrong. Because I don't feel better, right?
I was trying to
so your destination day spa is my girlfriend, Jen. And she's been working on her essential oils.
Nice.
And I'm really, really excited for her.
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited for her.
Well, congratulations, your Destiny Day Spa. Let's give you a shout out. Where you located? Pop it in the comments if you got a website or something so the people
in the Virginia area, the DMV.
What do you do? Are you doing day spa stuff, wellness stuff, self-care stuff? You're a travel agent with
She's trying to get her day spot going, but she's
nice.
essential oils. She has talked about the day spa, and I'm really down with it. She's a fellow veteran. You know, I may love the vets, but you know, and speaking of vets, you know,
well, before we get into that, let's stay on the wellness tip for just a minute, because that's going to lead us into the overall topic, and then we can segue right. I know where you
absolutely, because that all ties together.
It all ties together.
Y'all know how we like to tie stuff together.
You know, we be listen. It be making sense in our head. That's all that be mattering at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
That being said, let's not skip over this, because, like, real talk, you haven't been feeling well, right? So that's why I'm advocating for people to pay attention to their bodies. Listen, y'all, it can be so easy to be like, it's just a little aching pain. That shit can be your spine falling apart. Like, I'm being extreme, but y'all get what I'm, and this is real. I walked around with a ruptured appendix for 4 weeks, not knowing that's what it was. And I went to the doctor after it had been ruptured for 4 weeks, and they still didn't pick it up, right? So when I'm saying it can be life altering, it really can. And it's sometimes it's the difference in you making it through the day or not, and your loved one still having you. And most of us, even if we don't have children, we have, you know, bonus babies that we love. We have besties. We have men and women that we love. We have blood or adopted family that we love, and people that love us. And you know, we want to have a long, healthy, prosperous life. And y'all know, like I know, in our community is often stigmatized. Just like mental health is stigmatized, we as Black people be like, I ain't going to no doctor. But
we'll put some testing on it.
Put some
testing on it. You be okay.
Oh, God. Drink some ginger ale.
Get some ginger ale. You be all right.
You be coughing up blood. Don't sit on there. You gonna be all right. But so we're laughing about it, y'all, but we genuinely love y'all. And you know, 'tis the season for people to be passing around flu and pneumonia. COVID is still going around out there. Bronchitis. You know, all the things that involve your respiratory system. Yeah. You know, all the things that involve your respiratory system because of the cold weather, the extreme temperatures, you know.
Extreme change in temperatures.
Extreme changes, yeah. So, and all the stress that our nervous systems have been up under since the pandemic. A lot of us, many of us are still dealing with compromised immune systems and, you know, vitality. So get your rest, work on your sleep hygiene, drink some water. I'm gonna keep hyping on that one, y'all, because I can't believe how many people I talk to don't drink like a cup of water a day. And I'm like, and you wonder why you feel like death?
I mean, drinking water does have a lot to do.
Your body is what, 60% water?
Yeah, like 60-70%.
Yeah, it does. Drinking water does have a lot to do with your health that people don't realize. Even if you hate water, you still need to drink it. Now, I don't agree with it, but they do make those additives that you can put in water.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't agree with it because a lot of them use artificial sweeteners, and you know, so just
you know what though? Let me tell y'all my little secret. This is how I get water in, and the taste of water doesn't even bother me, right? But I just have to keep it in front of myself.
You don't live in the DMV,
huh?
You don't live in the DMV.
Our
water tastes funny up here.
Well, get you a fucking filter.
No, like for real. There are some places where the water tastes funny. Like you can taste the chemicals literally in the water.
No, I'm with you, right? But what I'm saying is, do what you got to do. I have a filter on my faucet, right? I have an extra water pitcher that I can put out on the counter when I want to. I got my Keurig. I can heat up some hot water for some tea. But my point was, like with this, to make sure I'm constantly getting hydration in, I don't drink just water, right? A lot of the times our body can struggle to process just the water by itself, and we pee it right out. So that's why they suggest sometimes mixing like the Himalayan salt, different types of salt, and just a pinch in your water to help your body process it a little bit better and retain it a little bit better. Potassium. but also get your fruits and your veggies in. This is literally mango and pineapple water. You know what I did? I took some frozen pineapple, some frozen mango, filled my pitcher up, put it on the blender, and then added some agave. Haha. So you're getting hydration from different sources so that your body can better retain it. If the my point was, if the flavor or lack of flavor or taste of water bothers you, make it appealing. Like, y'all, we got to get creative. Come on now. We can't just use this excuse. Oh, it tastes good.
Right.
If it's an issue with the water quality, that's one thing. But if you just don't like to taste the water, your ass just need to get
no. I buy bottled water because of the fact that the water tastes funny that comes out of the faucet. Sean, you know, you've been around here. The water tastes funny and it smells funny that come out of the faucet.
Yeah.
A lot of times people discount that fact that if you live in an older home or an older neighborhood, your pipes might be rusty.
Mm-hmm.
And your water might look funny and smell funny.
That's why I say get you a filter, guys. If you got the duckies to have a filtration system put on your house, do it. Right. You can get a decent one between $5,000-$10,000, and it'll last you some years. That's the same amount you're going to spend in the bottled water or filters over time. It's just a matter, do you want to spend it a little bit at a time and have convenience? Do you want to spend it up front and have convenience? How does it make sense for you to better enjoy it? But again, mix it in the blender with some fruits, some veggies, do some smoothies, do some juice, some pressed juice, some, different things, depending on what equipment you got. I buy that shit, really use it. It goes in the blender right now and it works for me. It is what it is.
My girl, Jen, she believes in that water, honey. She drink that water faithfully.
It's good for your skin. Listen, black don't crack, baby, because that hydration, okay? Don't be around here looking like the Crypt Keeper and Darth Vader had a baby. Like, drink your water. Yeah. That being said, that's going to lead us into the topic of the day that was brought to me by one of our viewers. And they asked us to talk about DAP, WAP, and LAP. Y'all know what WAP is. We're just going to call it WAP tonight. But y'all know what WAP is. If you don't,
look it up. Urban Dictionary is your friend.
We're going to tell you what DAP and LAP or DAP and LAP is, because we made them up, just gone.
Those are ours. They patented.
If you hear somebody else saying it, they heard it here first. They heard it here first.
Stole it.
DAP is okay. So WAP is dry ass. WAP is wet ass pussy. DAP or DAP is dry ass pussy, and LAP or LAP is limp ass penis. Yeah. Or you can call it LAD, LAD, limp ass dick. Either way it goes.
No, we like LAP.
LAP, okay. Either way it goes, we want to talk about that tonight. That was what one of our guests wrote in and asked us to talk about, because the context that they gave me is, a lot of times, even if you're in a loving relationship, you might have been with your person for a minute, married or, monogamous relationship, whatever. But you've been with your person for a minute, the loving been good, the relationship been good, the been good. And you hit this moment where everything changes because your body starts to change.
Or you get competitive. I mean, shit. You could love peanut butter, but shit, after a while, you get tired of peanut butter.
That too. So she asked us to talk about that. Like, how do you bring it up in conversations? How do you navigate those discomforts and those moments when you don't want to talk about it because you don't understand it, you don't know what to ask? Like, how do you navigate all these moving parts and pieces for yourself and with your person, whether you're the man or the woman? How do you navigate it for yourself and with your person, or as you're dating? Because a lot of people have to navigate this as they're dating and potentially meeting someone new, right?
And sometimes it could be like, it's as simple as a change in medication will change things, because a lot of folks gotta get on the blue pill because they have high blood pressure, because they don't drink their water. I'm just saying.
I mean, me personally, I think is just having a conversation. I mean, because if that's your person, no matter what the status is, if that's your
Exactly.
person, you should be able to talk about anything and everything.
See, that's my standpoint. If it's different, if you're with somebody new, you're trying to feel them out, they're trying to feel you out. I can understand not wanting to dump it on the table on the first date. Now it needs to come up fairly soon if you're talking about feeling this person and wanting to be intimate with them. You can't be talking about wait till we get married. The fuck? No, that's not how that works. No.
I ain't
But if
marrying
it's
you if
something
you got
you
limp
been with,
ass. Oh,
Mhm.
nothing.
but if it's somebody that you've been with for a while, again, this goes back to something I've been saying for years since we've been having these conversations in the sex intimacy power panels and all the things. How can you say you love this person and you trust this person and you can't have sexual conversation with them? Because we can talk about sliding down the pole, licking it up and down, swinging from the chandelier and all this other bullshit when we want to get freaky and, be fresh. But when something is wrong, all of a sudden we are shy and we don't know how to talk.
Well, come on now. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of times when you talking about something that's wrong and it's his, he has a problem and he get to acting all defensive and shit.
Oh my God. Women get defensive too. I'm not just gonna say it's men, but I'm saying across the board. How can we be so forthcoming when we trying to get fresh and get a piece of something, but when something is wrong and it's
Nobody
not
wants to
working or
talk about
functioning,
deficiencies.
right?
Nobody wants to talk about deficiencies. That's why. Because deficiencies are personalized, especially when you're talking about sexual inadequacy. Because that's exactly what it feels like when somebody's talking to you about it, is that you're not enough. So you may say, hey, we're having a problem in the bedroom, but what they hear is you don't do it for me.
I mean, hey, everybody ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, I
I
mean,
get that.
you could lay it down for hours straight, hardcore, and somebody be like, that was too much. Well,
Right.
me and somebody else could be like, that wasn't enough.
Right. And for somebody else, it's just right. Right. Meanwhile, for women, so there's this group I'm in, and it's like a sexual group for women. And I like to just kind of pay attention to what they're talking about for potential topics. But I guess I just wasn't cognizant. I don't know. I never thought about too wet being a problem.
And he never a problem.
Right? That's what I would have thought. But I don't know. Again, I have limited context because I only got mine. I don't know what the rest of them feel like. But I've actually seen quite a few women in that group talking about how their partners eventually start to complain that it's so wet they can't get a grip and there's no
too damn small. Come
and
on.
I'm like, now according to some of these women, because that has been the question, what is his size? Now, according to some of the women, size is not the issue.
Of course, they're not gonna tell you that he got a shrimp dick.
I don't know. Well, Gypsy, but everybody's not gonna
they gonna tell you that he got shrimp dick after they in there complaining.
But now, Gypsy, everybody ain't gonna tell the same lie.
Or that they didn't overused and then they gotta fall in well. You think they're gonna let you know that their well is fell in?
So what I'm going to say is everybody's not going to tell the same lie. And some of them have said that, yeah, he does have a smaller size.
Well, there's his size, her size, and then the truth. Tell them to bring him to the table since they got complaints.
Destiny's Day Spot says she got some essential oils for the lap, y'all. Okay, now. And then Cherise said, hey, love. And then
Cherise.
Your Destiny Day Spot said aphrodisiac oils. Yes.
But see, sometimes it's not about the aphrodisiac, because sometimes, like, no, on the real though, if he's taking medication and stuff, it just don't work no more.
Well, again, this is why I advocate for communication. Men and women, we deal with the same things. A lot of people are dealing with medications that are affecting their body, whether they're taking them for heart conditions, whether they're taking them for mental health conditions, a lot of pain medication effects, libido or dryness. So at the end of the day, these are still grown adult conversations that we need to be having. And stress. Well, we were talking about medication. So now let's talk about
but stress too. On top of that, Then you add in stress, because now most of us are 40 and up. So we've got these other things going on. We've got stress, and we've got work-related stress. We've got parental stress, like
absolutely taking care of parents, taking care of kids, taking care of household.
Kids that you got a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the elephant in the room. A lot of people are on edge since the election.
That too. Well,
when
so
I tell you, a lot of people are, but a lot of people
before that,
a lot of people
were still shot before the pandemic.
Yeah, a lot of people are still suffering from the pandemic. A lot of people are stressed. Let me tell you something. The pandemic has affected me in a way that I really didn't realize until it was time to go back into the office. My anxiety is on high. I never really had anxiety the way I have now. And I'm so used to being isolated that anything dealing with crowds and things like that has me on edge.
Absolutely understandable.
So there's that. What?
The who?
So I think that the pandemic made a lot of people agoraphobic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would agree. I do think it. People have.
I'm just trying to stick to that point before we get to
right. So let's back it up 1 minute, because we're talking about a lot of different things on top of it. So,
but all of this affects your sexual.
No, I'm with
sexual life.
I want to categorize it a little bit though, because I want people to be able to figure out where they may be sitting in it. Right.
Okay.
One, you have the space of what does your physical health actually look like?
Right.
So do you have physical health conditions, medical health conditions, mental health conditions that you've been diagnosed with, that you're taking medication for, that may be altering the chemistry in your brain, altering the chemistry in your body, knocking your hydration levels off, interrupting pain receptors, all these different things that your body is constantly trying to reset itself and acclimate itself. So you're down there, your nether regions, your whatever the fuck y'all be calling it, because y'all got some cuckoo ass for Cocoa Puff names. I don't know what the fuck y'all be doing, but whatever you call your vaginal and your penile areas, okay, we're gonna go with that. We're gonna try to use some correct terminology.
Why don't everybody else do? Don't let me stop.
So that being said, that's one category that you really have to sift through and figure out. That doesn't only include prescribed medication. You may be taking some over-the-counter medication
or some herbs.
Exactly, right? Some herbs. You may be drinking tinctures that you make, teas that you make. You may be taking an herb that really does have some medicinal benefit for you, but it's interrupting something else that you weren't counting on because you either didn't know, you weren't fully, researched in it. Somebody gave it to you and recommended it and raved about it, so you wanted to take it, but now it's causing a disruption or a dysfunction in some other faction. That's one arena. That's one area. Then you got your stress, your emotional well-being, your mental health, your stress, even if you don't have a diagnosed mental health issue or disorder, right? Or medical issue or disorder. So we look at stress, because that's why I said, let's backtrack it. The election is new, but most of us are still under assault from 2020, 2019, and 2020. Our nervous systems are still under assault, still trying to recalibrate themselves. As Sean mentioned, agoraphobia. There are a lot of people that are still trying to figure out how to get comfortable leaving the house again. There are a lot of people, like you mentioned, Gypsy, that are dealing with heightened anxiety and overwhelm. They were in their cocoon. It was safe. They had a structured, controlled environment. And now you're being forced to deal with boo-boo the fucking fool and moron, in your office that ain't got no boundaries, that ain't got no couth, no emotional maturity, and no other shit that you can work with. And you're having to navigate all of that. Plus, a lot of people, even if they're still working at home, are being overwhelmed and assaulted by all the constant interaction that work demands in order to make sure that you're still productive. Now they want you on 30 phone calls a week. Now they want you in 15 meetings a week. Now they want you staring at the screen, looking at everybody. And that is still overloading our senses and our brains, right? On top of the work that we have to get done. So let's look at that. Then let's talk about the fact that we got people that weren't used to being in the house like that with each other. See, it's a difference when I can go to fucking work and you can get the fuck out my face for a little bit, and then we can come back together and we like each other again. But when everybody was forced to be in the same household, this is why everybody wants to start buying bigger houses, because they need to get out of each other's line of sight. I need to be upstairs, you need to be down there, we need to be down the hall, not in the same space, right? Or I know people don't like to talk about it, but fuck them kids too sometimes, because you don't always want to be around your kids 24/7. So when you are now trapped in the house with that screaming baby and you couldn't send them to daycare all the time or preschool and whatever else, and your kids couldn't go to school for a while, now you have people that are truly overwhelmed and frazzled because they were not built to deal with all of that interaction all the time. No coping skills. But check this out. It would have drove me fucking insane. I don't have kids. And sometimes I really do see that as a blessing. I think it would have drove me out of my mind to have to be trapped in the house with children 24/7. And I saw people struggling with that, right? So these are just some of the things. Then we get to the dehydration. What are you eating? Are you active? Like, then we get to, do you actually like your person? Because that's the thing.
That's a thing. And I think that also was something that a lot of people realized, is that their fairy tale that they had built and told themselves wasn't real. Because during the pandemic, when you're forced to be around somebody, I don't even like the way this motherfucker chew.
Don't breathe, get on my nerves. Breathing so hard.
You know, and that's the thing. You looking across the table and you just like, he chew funny, he breathe loud, he sound like a fucking pig over there breathing. You know, and see, but these are the things that come out when you're around somebody that you really, let's just be honest. When you think about it, the way you said it, Jazz, 8 hours a day you was at work. 2 hours a day you was commuting. 6 hours a day you was sleep. 2 to 4 hours you was helping with homework, baths, and cooking and that kind of shit. So really and truly, you only spent maybe about 2 hours with this person. So it's easy to be nice for 2 hours.
Right.
But then when you got to be around this person, then you realize, I can't stand his ass.
Uh-huh.
A lot of folks that got divorced during that pandemic period because they realized they really did not like that person as a person. And it's hard when you don't like somebody as a person, let alone want to lay up under them. You realize you can't even stand the way they smell. Like you muted. You can't even.
That's why I was bringing up the fact that kids. There's a lot of people realize they don't even like their own fucking kids, let alone the spouse.
That grandma.
Part. It was a lot of people that were forced to quarantine together as families, you know, for budgetary concerns when jobs were shut down and furloughed and all those kind of things. So it's a lot of people that started to realize, I just don't actually like you.
And then like family members.
Then like
family members would rather go search for toilet paper than stay at home.
Right. This is why people sit in their car to decompress when they get home from work, or they drive the long way before they go home, because sometimes that don't even have anything to do with you liking the person or not liking the person, but sometimes you just need space to yourself before you have to turn around and re-engage with other people, right? So all of these things affect a woman's body's ability to then turn around and be responsive.
And a man too. And then
I'm going there.
Then if he's at home and you nagging all the damn time, the last thing he gonna want to do is jump up and down on you.
Right.
You already get on his nerves.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that affects a woman's body to be responsive and get wet and produce moisture. That affects a man's body to be responsive and get a hard on, get an erection, right? That affects even if you can get the initial response, that can affect your ability to have an orgasm.
To maintain it though.
To maintain it, to have multiples, if that's the thing that gets you off. That can affect your pain levels, which makes sex uncomfortable. Like there's so much that we have to consider when we have this conversation. But this is why I started off saying I hold grown people accountable. So I feel like when we are bold enough to be like, I want to swing from the chandelier, and this is not about any one person. I'm just, y'all know how we talk shit. Let's not even play. Y'all know how we be. I want to swing from the motherfucking chandelier. I want to climb the mountain with his tall ass, or I want to pick her big ass up and fold her up like a chair. Y'all know the shit we be talking like grown folk.
I don't know about that. I speak facts, but y'all just gave me a master class in woman math. Thank you, because for the life of me, I can't understand. I can't deal with you if I don't like you. I can't even talk to you on the phone if I don't like you.
Listen,
how am I going to get into a relationship with you?
But like, a lot of people got
tell you
liking each other, and then things changed.
And see, and that's why you got to have conversation, because I might see you and like what I see, but when I talk to you, and when I get the responses I get, like, okay, this is just a hit and going about my business, or I can't even do that because I want to do with you.
No, but sometimes, let me tell you something else. And this is bad, and it's going to sound terrible, but sometimes women make sacrifices for what they want. Like if you're a provider, they'll tolerate some stuff. And like I said, it's easy. Remember when I broke down the number of hours a day that you actually really got to deal with that person? In 2 hours, you could do that. If you need a roof, if you need a roof, you could do that for 2 hours. I'm saying.
I mean, men and women do it all the time. That's why they say it's cheaper to keep her, cheaper to keep his ass too. That's why people stay married instead of getting divorced. They wait till the kids get out of high school. Anybody can have a rationale that makes sense to them, right? But the reality is people get together and they really do like each other. And here's what I think we don't talk about enough. People change.
Yeah.
And so sometimes what you wanted and what you liked when you were here is not what you want and what you like when you are here. And we're oftentimes afraid to have that conversation. So we hold on for dear life because we may genuinely still love that person. Loving and liking are not the same thing.
So I'm going to be frank.
Hi, Frank.
Yeah, when are you never not frank?
I was with my ex-husband back and forth since we were 26. But what I realized is we were more often on because really I didn't like him. And when I was around him all the time, so it's different when we live in different homes and all of that kind of stuff, then I could take you in doses. But when we got married and we were around each other all the time, I realized I didn't like him. When I would pull up to the condo, I would drive the long way around to see, because we had 2 different parking spots on 2 different floors of the building. And so I would drive the long way around to see if his car was in the other parking spot. And I'd be like, if he was home. And that was when I knew it was time to go, right? And see, that's the thing, is that when we're younger, sometimes, I'm going to speak for me. I got married thinking I could change him. And a lot of men get married thinking that she won't change. Feel me?
Okay.
A lot of women get married for potential, thinking she can change him. And a lot of men get married thinking she won't change, right? And that's the real disconnect. And there's a sometimes we should just stay fucking. You go home and I go home.
I think that we have to acknowledge what we want based on what versus what we need versus what we feel like we truly have to give. And a lot of people get in relationships wanting a whole lot of shit that they're not capable of giving in return. So that leads to bitterness and resentment on both people's parts for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? Or like you said, a lot of men think she won't change. She gonna be this forever, my perfect 10. A lot of women do marry potential. And then when he can't live up to that, or he chooses not to live up to that, or what the fuck ever. Yeah. And it's vice versa. I try not to speak in absolutes on either gender because both genders do all the fuck shit to each other. You know what I'm saying? Both men and women.
I got resentful.
Yeah.
I got resentful when I realized that I had more ambition than he did. I got resentful. And so then the other thing is, remember we talked about this a few weeks ago. Sometimes spouses are secretly in competition that they don't know that they're in with each other. Yeah. You know, sometimes men are competing with their spouse. Sometimes she's competing with him. Yeah. You know, and that's the thing. It shouldn't be a competition. You should be working together on a team. It should be us against the world. But when it becomes me against you, then, you know, this isn't going to work.
Well, so let me back it up and also add this to that. Before we look at potential, before we vet this person through the lens of what we think we can give them and what we think they can give us, I don't think that most of us are honest from the jump on what we even really desire. We're basing it off of what somebody else had, what somebody else said, what somebody else told us, society, family, culture, community, religion. We're starting off ass backwards because we're trying to prove something to everyone else or be acceptable to everyone else. And then we marry this person that may check all those boxes for them, but not for us. They check the boxes for my mama or my grandma or my cousin or my daddy or my uncle or my whoever's. But does that person check the boxes for me? Vice versa, right? And so when you go in upside down, a lot of times we stay in this shit out of pride. I ain't gonna let them bitches win. I ain't gonna let them think they was right and I was wrong. So we stay out of pride and ego trying to prove a point, only to end up even more miserable and doing more harm to one another. And then by the time we do have the bravery to get divorced or in the relationship, now we're both wounded as shit and hurt people, right? So we end up in the next relationship hurting the next person because we're looking for them to fix us instead of fixing our damn self.
And we need to take some time between relationships to figure out what is wrong with us, get ourselves together before we run into the next one. And a lot of times, it's uncomfortable to be alone a lot of times. Yeah. And if it's uncomfortable to be alone, a lot of times we run to the next available. Yeah. And that's not good either because you've not healed anything. You just put a Band-Aid on it and kept running and went on to the next one. So now you bleeding on somebody that didn't cut you.
Yep. Let's catch up on the comments real quick. Your Destiny, I'm just gonna call you Destiny, girl. That's a long ass name. Destination said some women just want a man. Cherie said, I like the concept of living alone together. He stays at his place and I stay at mine. Destination said, and put up with a lot of shit, man. Listen. But what you did to get me is what you need to keep me. Absolutely. Now let's before I move on to Cher's comment, that right there. Men and women are all guilty of this shit, right? Y'all know like hell, y'all was doing all this bullshit to get somebody's attention and stop them from focusing on anybody else. And then once you felt like you had them locked down, all of a sudden you weren't twirling and swirling like you used to. He wasn't picking you up and rubbing you down like he used to. He wasn't spending all them duckies and you weren't cooking every night or whatever it is that we oftentimes have done to convince a person that we're the one. We then feel like, well, I'm good now.
Right.
And when life changes, we don't recognize, but that person has still become spoiled with that behavior. They're used to that. Now we've created this standard that we got to keep up, rightfully so. And then I'm sorry, S, you said people get mad because they cannot live up to undiscussed expectations. Also, men and women who see their preference they want them to confirm. Yup, that too.
So I
So
must be a troglodyte because I myself, first of all, I don't look for nothing from nobody. Period. So if I meet you, I want good conversation, a good vibe, and whatever else happen. Now, if we kicking it and everything all good, I'm not looking for nothing from you except for a safe space. Somebody that I can talk to, somebody that I know I can open up to, and you're not going to just sit there and just judge me. You may have your opinion, but you're not going to judge me.
yeah.
And that's the same kind of energy that I give to people. But because of society and the way things are just totally different than that. And people go off of things looking for different stuff. But
Well,
I just don't
so
understand. I really don't.
so Sean, I'm gonna say I think you're not necessarily in the minority, but I don't think that every single grown person is running around with that level of emotional intelligence or accountability or maturity, right? So we got to understand that a lot of the trauma that we face, we are just perpetrating the trauma that our families put us through, that our parents inflicted on us, that their parents inflicted on them. We're repeating the same shit over and over again, or that last girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife did to us, we're turning around and then doing it to somebody else because people ain't getting into therapy right out of their relationships a lot of times. What the fuck they doing? They on Facebook mad as hell, talking about she did this and he said that, and I'm gonna tell all this shit, ho, and whatever other ghetto ass shit they doing.
Right.
Because they want to get people on their side to feel better instead of actually doing the work to feel better. Case in point, I just literally shared with y'all the video I put in the chat the other day, didn't I? I thought I did, maybe. And the guy was like, what effeminate ass man started this conversation about what do women bring to the table?
Right.
And he was talking about, as a man, he considers it his job before he even trying to talk to anybody. Now I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
But before he even tries to deal with anybody, he considers it his responsibility as a man to make everything that you just said. Then he can look to bring a woman into that. He can look to bring a girlfriend or a wife or a partner into that experience with him, right? But you got a lot of men, that's the first thing they're going to ask you: where you work at, what you do, how much money you do. Because they want to figure out, can you take care of them?
And that's the thing. That's why, like, one of my favorite songs is that Neo song. I love it when she got her own. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got her own, like, because I'm not looking for nobody to take care of me, and I'm not looking to take care of anybody until we get to that point.
Sure.
But
and that's reasonable. That's your thing, and that's reasonable. But you also got to admit there are a lot of men and women. Again, I'm holding all of us accountable. Now, it's not just men. There are a lot of men and women who are not able, because there are a lot of women who come with their hand up. This whole conversation about somebody shared it on my Facebook page. I saw the young lady was like, was I wrong or some bullshit, because she blocked him and got upset because she wanted all this money to get her nails done and do all this stuff to get ready for a date with. And the people in the comments was like, but shouldn't your nails already be done? Like, if that's something you do for yourself, why would you need him to get it done for your date? Why would that be? I think that's just kind of ridiculousness. You know what I'm saying? You're wanting a person to come in and treat you like a child before you've even had a date with them, because you now want to be one of their expenditures. That's just a lot.
Yeah, and I have an issue with that too, because, like, if it's a first date, I mean, now I am a man that has a little bit of class, so I'm not going to take you to McDonald's on a first date. But if we go to Outback or Cheesecake Factory, that should not be an issue. Even if it's like, hey, it's a beautiful day, let's go for a walk in the park and just talk and get to know each other. That should not be an issue. But
I
unfortunately,
wholeheartedly agree.
due to today's constraints and society's, you know, for lack of a better word, bullshit they put out. Everybody think you're supposed to be doing this and that.
Yeah.
And then that's how you end up in that situation.
Yeah. Let me catch up on these comments real quick. S said, this is why and how a lot of women are just now learning that their spouses married them because they checked all the boxes but do not like them at all. They are good at taking care of home. My children will look like this. They have this kind of money and status. Yep. I've heard it so many times. Ooh, destination, you said I'm getting comfortable being alone and it's scary. Ooh, okay, Jennifer. That's what I'm gonna call you, Jennifer. Hey, girl. S said everyone is not emotionally and mentally mature. A lot of folks are deflecting like no tomorrow. Yup, they want to hide their head in the sand like fools. I mean, and y'all don't get me wrong, because I'm not trying to sit in a place of judgment. Like we all supposed to be perfect and without fault. That's not it. But I still feel like if we're gonna be bold enough to be out here singing it, you know, if he liked it, then he should have put a ring on it. Okay, well that's fine. But when he put that ring on it, were you able to continue doing all the things that you were doing to catch his attention, to make him want to commit? Whatever those things might have been, you could have been just being yourself. But are you going to continue to be that self even as you grow and mature? The essence of you will still be visible to him. Y'all get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The same as if when that woman said yes, and that man was like, oh my gosh, you made me the happiest man alive. That's beautiful, sir. But are you going to continue to do all the things that you did to show her that you were whatever it was that she was looking for her to say yes to you? Whether we're in a relationship or married, polyamorous, you know, monogamous, whatever that looks like, we as adults become accustomed to certain things. Just like we've sat up here and talked about liquor, we all have preferences on what we're going to drink and how much it need to cost because we like what we like. It's the same thing with people. We like what we like.
Well, I mean, it goes both ways. Women got to keep doing the same thing because I've been engaged one time. And I'm telling you, once I put that ring on it, the head stops. So, yeah.
Oh, well, damn. Oh, yep.
Well,
that ain't work out.
Well.
Oh, that's what we both said. Well,
yeah, y'all heard it because I'm telling y'all the truth. Like people get spoiled. We get accustomed to what the fuck we get accustomed to. If he rub your feet every night when you come home and he be like, baby, you're the bestest of the bestest, and he rub your back and massage you down, you're gonna get used to that if he does that every day. And when he stops doing it, you're gonna feel sideways about it. Right? Mm-hmm. Same like that example you just gave. She was doing one thing and she damn sure stopped it. And you was like, yeah, you broke the contract, ma'am. I mean, we want what we want. We're spoiled little kids in these adult bodies. We want what we want. And that's a part of relationships, is understanding that what you did to get them, you got to do to keep them, or at least being able to acknowledge it up front why it has to change and creating a new agreement. Relationships are business. You got to be willing to negotiate and come to the table to agree. I stand on that. Destination, you said that nigga flew me everywhere. Then we got married. He hates to fly. What the fuck? I wanted to divorce that motherfucking day. Okay, wait, I'm confused. Is your name not Jennifer?
Yes. That girl is something else. Jennifer, don't you play with me.
Don't be out here tripping, girl. Okay, S said we need to be out here healing or trying to get healed and not expecting people to heal us, whether through materialistic things or whatever. Absolutely. Now, this is a fair thing as well, because I hear a lot of men say, well, once we got locked down or once we got married, she wasn't giving it up no more. So I started asking questions like, okay, did that change after you had kids? No, she was still fucking it down, but it wasn't until after we got married did it stop. Okay. Did you move to a bigger house? Is she cleaning more? Like, what changed? Before you just assume she don't want to give it up, try to figure out what changed.
Have those conversations.
Have those conversations. Don't shy away from them. Don't be mad talking to all your boys and dapping them up and talking bullshit. Like, ask questions And ladies, same to y'all. Before you come to your girlfriends and you know they raggedy ass is gonna hype you up and say he a fuck nigga, ask questions. You know what I'm
Especially if
saying?
you ain't got no man.
And stop talking to people that are gonna agree with you. Because sometimes a lot of people are just looking for somebody to damn agree with their bullshit.
And they want you to
They said we're talking about DAP, WAP, and LAP. And you know what wet ass is. And you know what DAP is dry ass. And then LAP is limp ass penis.
Well,
that's what we talking about.
Ain't no reason to even discuss the dry ass because nobody want that. They make
no, but see, sometimes if she's dry, it could just well.
They make suppositories, they make little films, and if you bounce your job, you get down there with your mouth, you make it as wet as you want it.
Okay, so let's talk about that since you put that on the table. I'm glad you said that, kind sir. Here's the misconception that men have.
You see the beard, right?
I see the beard, Sean. Here's the
nobody want no goddamn rug on it. Never mind. Let me.
The misconception that I think a lot of men have, because they do have suppository and they do have estrogen cream,
right?
All the things that are designed
to
sometimes
try to it's you,
right? But here's the thing: that's like, y'all ever seen the treatments that you can put on your carpet or your furniture that keep the moisture sitting on top to where it doesn't absorb down into it?
Mm-hmm.
That's really what that's like. If a woman is using a suppository to moisturize and create wetness, the outside, the external part, the top of the skin is wet. You feel it. It feels good. Slipping and sliding. Hey, but the inside of her tissue still feels dry. So after the friction keeps up for a while, that's actually going to get kind of painful for her if her body is still not responding on an internal level and an emotional, mental level to get
and
that.
That's the thing.
So it looks like it's juicy and it's wet. Your tongue got it, the motor running. It's like she's ready, let's go. But again, it's like the moisture sits on top. It's not fully absorbed all the time. And if you don't get that motor running the way you need to, you know what I'm saying? Like the whatever sounds y'all be wanting her to make. Like, it's the same thing as if a man got up and then he couldn't quite keep it up. He got up and then he couldn't quite keep it up. It's the same problem.
And that's totally understandable. And me being a man, I can't speak from a woman's point of view as to what that feels like or what happens on that end. I can only tell you that experiencing it from a man's, and it felt great. That's all I can say.
Well, like Jason said, carpet on carpet is like trying to start a fucking fire.
I mean, I can't.
Oh my God.
You speak to Jason's situation.
Let me catch up with these comments. Sure said, people know why things change. They just do not want to acknowledge their faults nor change. Jennifer said the thing sent too quick. Jason, carpet on carpet. Yep. Our Luke said, sound like she may need to change the diet. It could be. Sometimes she needs more water. Like, I think you're just coming on here, but that's part of what we talked about before. Sometimes it's medication, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's stress level, sometimes it's genetic. Everybody don't drip like a faucet automatically all the time, right? So this is not just women in their 40s and 50s and 60s. This is women in their 20s and 30s dealing with this. This is not just men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s dealing with this. This is men in their 20s and 30s dealing with this. This is why we have to have these conversations.
Yeah, so they stated, there are more younger guys out here now using like Blue Chew and all that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow, because at that age, at 20 and 30,
look at what they eat.
But I'm just like, wow, like that's
look at what they eat, and then half of them. Now, no shade, Sean, because I know you use, there's like different things, medicinal purposes and stuff. But some of them is just weed heads. And sometimes when you pass by them, they smell like they just, it comes through their pores. Like you can't be high. You can't be high all the time and function.
Then they smoking the wrong stuff.
You can't be high all the time and function.
They smoking the wrong stuff because they smoking the right stuff. Trust me, it's gonna make
everybody I seen on weed
It makes you want to go.
It makes you slow down and chill. So you tell me that if you slow down and chill, that your stuff ain't gonna slow down and chill too.
They smoking the wrong stuff. They smoking that cheap shit. Because they smoking good shit. Trust me, you can get up and go anytime.
Sean said, listen, Linda, listen.
Well,
so let's take a commercial break.
The way it stinks, I'm trying to tell you, the way it stinks, you're right. They probably are smoking cheap shit because cheap liquor stink, so cheap weed probably stink. So
let's take a commercial break. Y'all to make sure you share the video, like the video, press that thumbs up button right now. Stop what you're doing. Yes, you stop what you're doing and like the video, pretty please. Make sure you share the video out. And thank you so much for you guys commenting and engaging because it makes a difference, y'all. It be helping little old us reach the people, and we love y'all for that.
Yes, you are absolutely right, Luke. You are absolutely right.
Processed cheap foods full of chemicals that block their endocrine. Yes. So that's what we were talking about earlier, like getting your herbs in, getting your tinctures in, making your teas, eating your vegetables, eating the rainbow, the greens, the healthy leafy vegetables, the fruits, and all the things. Make sure that you're nurturing your body from the inside out, y'all.
Let's back up, Jay, because that's the other thing I want to talk about is the fact that a lot of people live in food deserts.
That is true.
And they don't have access to good, healthy food. They, and sometimes come on, let's keep it real. When you try to feed a family of 5 on some of the salaries that people are trying to pay, you have to get what you can afford. And a lot of times what you can afford is not very healthy.
This is why activity still matters, right? Listen,
but if you're eating processed food, just like Rod said, you're gonna be blocking up your endocrine system because you're eating.
But let's be real though.
If you're eating on the inner aisles, it's not good. Eating on the inner aisles are the worst foods for you.
I understand, but let's also be real. And this ain't the case across the board. I'm just saying, y'all. We got folks still living to their 80s, 90s, and 100 that drink and smoke every single day.
Well, yeah, you're right.
So food is a part of it. Mentality is a part of it. Activity level is a part of it. Stress level is a part of it. Genetics is a part of it.
Now I'm finna hip you to something though. Most of the time, those who drink and smoke and they in their 80s and 90s, they still eat fresh fruits and vegetables though.
Girl, no, hell they don't.
They don't fuck with the hell they don't. My daddy eat fresh fruits and vegetables. He do not.
Daddy.
He don't fuck with processed foods like
what Mr. Brown say, this is your granddaddy. Look, that's your daddy.
I'm just saying, a lot of them, they're older people. A lot of the older people believe in fresh fruits and vegetables. They don't believe in that processed food. They don't believe in eating processed macaroni and cheese and all that stuff that's on the inner aisles. They don't eat that. They don't eat that.
But
the macaroni and cheese they eat, the macaroni and cheese they eat is homemade. Like they eat a lot of. That's what I'm saying. Is they're not really into that processed, and you can't pronounce half the shit on the box. Like they're not into that. Like for real.
So that's your daddy, and I don't disagree with you. But what I'm saying is there's still a lot of people that ain't eating like that. They smoking, they drinking, they eating that bullshit. And sometimes genetics really does have a say-so, right? We can come from a better, healthier lineage. We can come from a suspect, gene pool that struggled. You know what I'm saying? So that has something to do with it as well. But also the environment. That's why I said there's so many layers to this conversation. It's never going to be one thing that you got to change or fix. But it's how can you set yourself up to thrive and to succeed with as many options as possible. If you do live in a food desert, do your kids get to go outside and play? Are you feeding them nothing but juice boxes, or do they actually get to drink water throughout the day? Because I'm all about, you got to work with the budget. I don't give a fuck what people say about positive mindset. You still got to deal with society. So yes, I'm with you that finances plays a big part in it. But here's where I'm gonna also challenge some of them people. Not everybody, but I am gonna challenge some of them people. Cause baby, if I could see you walk up in Chick-fil-A and spend $50, you could have went to the grocery store and cooked about 2 or 3 meals with that $50, right?
Yeah.
Some people lazy and other people can't cook. So you got
That's
that.
true.
You got two extremes right there. You got
Right.
lazy, can't cook. Lazy, can't
Yeah.
cook.
So that's why I said we, but speaking to our genre, the typical person that's going to be in our audience, they're not really the person that's sitting at home on food stamps and can't afford to feed their kids. Now, that's not said from a judgmental state. I know the type of person that usually follows me, right? So I know the type of person that's typically listening in when they're reaching out, messaging me on Facebook or using the little Google form to message or whatever, and they're telling us about themselves. It's usually not that person.
But you don't know who's gonna stumble upon you though.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the whole thing, because I can't tell you how many damn rabbit holes I just fell down on this fucking internet. And I'd be like, here.
Good. The fuck shit I be seeing sometimes.
Right.
That's what you're right. Yeah.
Right. So that's the thing, is that there have been times like when I was in a different place in life where I done fell down the rabbit hole and been and followed somebody that was in 6 figures. I was nowhere near 6 figures at the time that I found her.
Absolutely.
It inspired me though.
Let's also put this out there, because
food deserts.
Food scarcity was the word I was trying to say. Food scarcity is not limited to people that are in food deserts. Food scarcity is not limited to people that are making under 6 figures, right?
No.
Because a lot of people can be making over 6 figures, but what are your medical bills? How much does your insurance cost? How many kids do you have? Are you taking care of an ailing parent? There are a lot of things that go, right?
Woo!
I'm raising my hand because I'm like, okay, we supposed to be talking about wet ass pussy, and we got way off the topic.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got to say what Sheer said.
We'll go back and catch up on the other comments. Let me put it up there so you can read it. And then Sean gonna get us back on track. Gypsy.
If the person is really into their person, it is no issue unless other situation. Question: why do people expect people not to change, grow up, mature? You go to phases and priorities change. Yeah, but that ain't the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about this next one.
Hold on, wait, because that comment makes a lot of sense, which people just I don't understand, because if you're in a relationship, you should be growing together.
Not necessarily.
Wait. Hold on, wait. If you're growing together, that's going to bring about change in both of you. But I digress. Go ahead, Gypsy.
Not necessarily. But this one right here, and let me tell you something. Young men start off sexually active earlier than young girls, and by the time they get in their 20s and 30s, they're worn out and need outside devices, medicinal aids, movies, etc. Porn is causing a lot of delusion about a woman's body and their own. Some men are very uneducated about sex across the board. Let me tell you something.
Why are you giving us a clown for this, Arlu? What?
Listen, I ain't anybody studying him. Listen, I agree with that, and that's why we have such sexually deviant type behavior. People are like, oh, I'm appalled that Sean Diddy Combs is messing with young girls. Oh, I'm appalled that R. Kelly is pissing on people. I'm appalled that Sean Diddy Combs is now attracted to men. I'm appalled. No, the thing is that access breeds that kind of stuff. Access breeds that sexual immorality. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the thing is that after a while, normal shit don't do it for you. Because you done did all the normal shit. Now you're looking for dogs and shit because you done did all the normal shit. I'm saying, like I'm so for real. They have actually studied. They have studied deviant behavior, and let me tell you something. Do you know that? Okay, so let me back up. You know how Squid Game started? Squid Game started because rich people didn't have shit to do with their damn money, and then they became. Hold on now. They became so.
You proving my point.
Bored. Hold on. They became so bored. They look for other stuff to do.
Can't compare that to regular people. What you talking about? Yes, that's a rich person issue because they got so much
and
money.
Also a person that has access. Because let me tell you something. A guy that's not facially challenged, a guy that's not facially challenged, right? He has more access to women when he's not facially challenged. If he got the facial real estate,
I agree with that, but that does not
got more access, and if he got more access after a while,
that does not
shit ain't gonna do it for him.
No, they don't lead to deviant behavior. Because I know
go with that.
I know people that have, as you put it, well, I ain't gonna say facially challenged, just
the facial real estate.
Just don't have a way with women. And they are sexual deviants when they get their hands on a woman.
Well, that's because they don't get one every now. When they get one, they go do everything they saw on TV.
So
then you got the other ones that get them all the time, and because they get them all the time, and they used to supermodel and this person and that person, they just ain't gonna do it no more.
I disagree with that. Because,
okay.
Trust me. That does not always lead to sexual deviance. Now, with the money part, yes, I agree with that 100% because you got so much money, you done did it all, you get so bored, you start seeing what else you can do and what you can get away with because you can pay for it. But as far as regular people, because
we got the passport bros.
At the end of the day, now passport, that's some BS. You know it's BS.
No, it ain't.
I'm like, we don't really got off topic of wet ass pussy and limp ass penis now.
That's why they fly overseas, because they still they need some wet ass pussy.
That's BS though, because they're going abroad intentionally trying to find somebody that they could get pregnant and find a slew of people they can get pregnant and
hopefully they ain't trying to get them pregnant. They're just trying to fuck.
No, trust me. They trying to get them. Most of them are trying to get them pregnant and have kids with them. And at the very least, they're trying to find somebody that's going to take care of them and support them and let them live there for free. That's what they trying. That's some BS. But at the end of the day, I do agree with the part of, okay, maybe starting out younger does affect you. But what I don't agree is that it only affects young men because who the hell are those young men having sex with?
Oh, the women. You know, when they lie about their age,
they not always having sex with an older woman.
You know, when they lie about their age and shit.
Starting out younger now, she would have to clarify younger to me, because when you say younger to me, that means you starting out at like 12 or 13, not at 16 or 17.
Some of them do.
And so who they having sex with? They gotta be
but also, okay, let me flip it there. And a lot of these young girls that are having sex at those young ages are usually having sex with young ages because they've been molested.
And I'm not disagreeing with it. That's a totally.
And so they've been made to feel that that's the way to get attention from a male is to be sexually promiscuous.
And I understand.
Right? So then there's that part too.
I agree with that.
But then there are young guys that if he's a good-looking young guy, now she may tell him don't tell nobody, but he might be a freshman having sex with a senior at school.
And that's true. That
happens. You know what I'm saying? Now she may tell him he better not tell nobody or she gonna deny it. But I mean, there is that. I'm just saying is that Listen, we are a highly sexualized society now. I remember when I was growing up, I watched I Love Lucy, and they had 2 fucking beds in the room. And I'm wondering how the fuck they had kids. Now that I'm grown and I'm thinking back with my grown mind, but my kid mind, they were sleeping in twin beds. We didn't see that. But now everything is highly sexualized. Think about the commercials. Think about everything is sexually charged, right? So yes, Jay, it does go back to wet ass pussy, dry ass pussy, and limp ass dick. Because after a while, if you've been exposed to that, and especially now we got TV 24/7, think about the fact that TV used to go off. So you used to kind of, it would cut off after a certain time. The porn channel had them little lines that would go through this thing. And so you really couldn't see it, but it would be on TV, So it wasn't none of that. Now they can go on the internet and see whatever they want to. They can, I'm just saying, we are a highly sexualized society. We've allowed all of that stuff. Right. You're absolutely right. They said that's the place to stay. And listen, he ain't got shit to do with practice, so he good at what he do now. He good at what he do now. He can let it pipe because he probably can't do nothing else, but he can let it pipe because he good at what he do because he knows that's what he brings to the table. And so, because we are a highly sexualized society, the way that we were taught that it should be, that went out the window. That's all I'm saying.
And that's my whole point, because we were taught that by society, because that's what society says this is what it should be.
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't want to get too far off topic. I'm just gonna say this.
That's why it don't work no more. It has off topic. That's why it don't work no more. That's why it's either too wet, too dry. It's too wet for a dude that can't get up. It's too dry for a dude that can't make her, because she's probably been.
What the hell?
And our Luke, I salute you, brother, because that's all it is. Because look, I'm 50 years old and I don't got no problem with my shit whatsoever. Okay. And for me, the wetter the better. It ain't never such thing as too goddamn. It ain't. That don't exist.
Okay.
Now dry, yes. If it's dry, shit, no, this shit is scraping me up. Where the lube at, it's dry. But nah, if it's wet, wetter the better. As a matter of fact, the more wetter, the longer I'm gonna go.
The wetter, the more better, the more blue.
More better blues. So.
Yeah, and that, I don't understand it. At 22,
yeah, they take 100 packs at 22. Yeah, but think about it. If you start scoring at 12, 10, because think about this though. A lot of these women, a lot of these young girls and boys are developed at like 9 and 10 now. And the reason is all this hormones and stuff in the food. But that's not to mention the fact that they're overly stimulated at a young age. At 9 and 10, I didn't know about that. And that's but Sean probably did on freaky ass.
What can I say? I've been that way ever since I was yay high. That's all I know.
Return of the Mac. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
So all of this does tie in, because all we've been, even when we were talking about the food desert, it still ties in, because what we eat does affect our hydration, and what we drink does affect our hydration. But the emotional connection is huge. Some men say it's not as important for them, but more women will typically say it's really important for us, right? So if you don't really like the person, if you're angry, if y'all doing a lot of arguing, if they watching porn, like whatever's going on, all those things are gonna cause that emotional or mental disconnect and drive the pussy and make the dick Luke, you said drink her pineapple juice, and I'll
And
drink
see,
the pineapple juice, ladies. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
He gonna ease on down
Well,
the road.
let me ask you something. What does the pineapple juice do anyway?
it's supposed to,
Taste.
help you, with all that.
Like what you eat and what you drink comes out in how you
Mhm.
taste for men and women.
Mhm.
So you can drink pineapple juice to give it a more pleasant taste.
Yeah, I can tell you, like a vegan ain't got no taste, and that's crazy for a
No,
woman. I can't speak about a man, but for a vegan woman,
no taste. But
no.
that means she ain't eating her fruits either.
I mean, hey, I can't explain it. All I know is no taste. That's all I know. Like, what the hell? Like,
Gypsy, the look on your face, girl.
but
You
that
are
could all
genuinely
be
perplexed over
incorporated
there.
in
She
how.
ain't staying hydrated and ain't eating her fruits and vegetables.
Nah, but she could be overly hydrated,
Yeah.
which just flushes
Oh,
everything.
so she's flushing everything out.
Yeah, that could
Yeah,
be.
that ain't good either. We got to find a middle ground now. You can't be too big and you can't be too small. You can't be too hydrated and you can't
But
be
it's all
dehydrated.
it's all subjective because some women like big, some women like small, some women like medium, some women like average, just like men. You know what I'm saying?
So at the end of the day, we as adults, this is where I'm taking it. We as adults are responsible for our own well-being. And yes, the person that we choose to partner with is also, oh my God, the person that we choose to
Oh
partner
shit,
with
here
is
come. Yep.
also responsible for how they engage with us and how we engage with them. We as two
Mhm.
consenting adults are responsible for how we affect each other in the bedroom. And if we're not getting the effect that we want or the experience that we want, then we are responsible for talking about that shit so we can do better.
They crowded
Algorithm
in the
said jacking
comments.
off too much can affect his wood. So I heard that is the truth. You
Mhm.
can become desensitized, just like some women can use,
Right. Use
you
that
know.
rose too much and then you won't be able to do nothing with it.
Or Luke said she want to get swallowed.
Swallow.
Jason said women had sex standards too. Remember, fellas, when we were nervous that you might drown in the pussy.
Right. But see, if she use the rose too much, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing for her.
You better hum. Mm.
I love it. That's what I'm talking about, Sean. He said, "Who ain't ready? Who ain't ready?" That's what I'm
But
talking about.
but I'm just saying that's the thing. It's everybody who's gotten too overly sensualized by themselves. Yeah, you can't do it for them.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean
You
everything in
can't do it for
moderation. Everything in moderation. You can't
them. Everything.
overly in pleasure yourself, but you can also can't overly indulge in sexual activities with other people unless that's because different people have different speeds. Unless that's your speed, then hell, have an orgy every night. Do you?
But that's the other thing too, Sean. That could have been your speed in your 20s. But when you 50, ain't nobody fucking all night. I got work tomorrow.
I mean, that's true. And you think about that because even if you like, you know what, it's going too long. I'm tired. You tired. We're gonna go to sleep. That's what happens.
And listen, and the thing is that in your 50s, you might be like only on the weekends.
Listen, I'm gonna throw this out there too, because ain't nobody really said it. So I'm gonna go on and throw this out there. Our Luke said if she wet, we gotta throw it back harder. Oh God. I'm gonna throw this out there too. I think sometimes our bodies are telling us that that's not our person and we not listening.
Oh.
Sexual
Oh.
chemistry, I really do believe, is sometimes a way that our bodies are letting us know this ain't your person. But you're trying to force it because she fine, he fine, whatever other attributes they may have that you really want to make work or potential that you think that they have. But it's just like pheromones. It's just like, chemistry. I think there are a lot of different things aside from love that
Yeah.
allow us to determine, is this the person that we genuinely are most compatible with? And sex
Wow.
can be a way for us to recognize your body's not responding. that ain't your person. Let that shit go. You can find another dick or another, vagina to have fun with. If you really want to just enjoy the sex, find somebody that you just can enjoy the sex with. But we'll take the sex and try to force it and make a whole relationship with somebody.
Exactly.
And then we end up miserable, and then we pissed because we don't wasted all this time and it's not working. But there were clues and indicators. You know what I'm saying?
And that always leads me back to my very number one priority. Always have conversation from day one.
But uncomfortable conversations are hard, Sean, and that's what the problem is.
Yeah.
These are those uncomfortable conversations. These are the same. But I'm gonna tell you something. A person who can't have a sexual conversation with their partner is that same person that can't ask for a raise at work.
Yeah.
That's true.
What did you do with old man?
I'm here to tell you. First of all, I so much agree with Gypsy on that. Man, if you can't ask for something, you definitely gonna be the one that's taking it at the job. You gonna definitely be the one coming in last place at work. You on the salary scale. You can't even ask for stuff at home from your partner. You certainly can't go and ask for someone who in a position above you. Hey, everyone, I want to say, hey, good evening to everyone. I also want to say this right here because today is December the 3rd, and tomorrow I just want to say happy Founders Day to all my fantastic, amazing Alpha Phi Alpha brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, started in 1906, and ever since then we've been running.
Hey. Shout out to the old man.
Yeah. Happy Founders Day, bro.
Happy Founders Day. And said, Jasmine, you are absolutely correct. Your body will tell you if that's your person. Some of us should have listened to our bodies. Jason said, oh shit, Jay, you might have stepped on the toe with that one.
Right.
Jason said, wait up, old man, why your pick off, sir?
Talking about some what I do to old man. I ain't did nothing to old man.
But all I'm saying,
Gypsy. Hey, Gypsy, do you want me to? Do you need me to bring anything over later on tonight?
You know what? Go to hell. You know what? I'm finna get out of him. I'm finna get out of him. Jason, don't you buy into that?
All I'm saying is, if you can't have a conversation with your person, then no, they not your person. And
right. So that's what I be saying. If you can't have a conversation with them, either one, they're not your person because you don't trust them, you don't feel safe with them, or two, you are not operating in your own accountability and maturity because they may genuinely be your person and rock with you to the fucking wheels fall off, but you're not giving them the opportunity by being willing to sit in the discomfort to have.
Some people need therapy.
That like too.
Some people need therapy, and they're so afraid of offending people that they don't want to say anything that might rock the boat. Again, those are the same people that can't ask for raises. They're the same people who can't. They're people pleasers.
Yeah, well, they're so afraid of the answer that they get from the doctor, or the answer that they dig deep within themselves to find. They're so afraid of the answers or of the unknown that they just don't want to sit in the discomfort of that and invite that person in with them. And I'm like this: if that's your person, then you got to trust them with the good and the bad, the pretty, the ugly, and everything in between. You got to trust them to get in the mud with you and walk it out and get back to the good time. But it's not going to happen by hiding our head and stand like ostriches and act like it's not happening, right? And so a lot of good relationships are destroyed for lack of communication.
Yeah, and I will say this right here. That guy who's and not just guy, that woman who's afraid to say what they really want, those are the ones that's going to step outside their relationship. Simply because their needs are not being met, not because the other person is not willing to do it. That's simply because the other person just didn't know that was their desire.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Only thing I say to that is stop being a gristleback, grow a spine.
What?
Gristle back. You know what gristle is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So instead of having a backbone, a spine, they got gristle. So they weak. I'm mad I had to explain that, but now everybody knows.
Gristle
Don't
back.
behave. Don't be throwing that crazy shit out there to expect us to know what the hell it is.
Right.
That's
Jason calling y'all out.
that culture shit.
Jason
said,
what?
right shit.
I said, Jason calling y'all out. He said, you in the other room trying not to have that feedback.
You know what? Go ahead, Jason. But you know what, y'all? We thank y'all for joining us every Tuesday.
Yes.
We appreciate y'all. We appreciate the feedback. Also, make sure you send in comments. Make sure you send in your questions. And make sure you like and share. We have been gaining momentum, and we really, really like that we've been gaining momentum. So y'all just keep up the good work. We appreciate y'all. We're gonna do this whole holiday season together. Me, the crew, and Snoop. Snoop
On
on
us
the
too.
Snoop.
Well, before we close out, Gypsy, go ahead and throw your next topic on the table so we can prep them for next week. Because you wanted to talk about like when we've left and we returned back to a place.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we were talking about earlier. We were talking about how you live in a certain area, like when you grow up and stuff. And sometimes you leave. You might leave for college. You might leave for the military, things like that. But the problem is that when you go back home, it's just not what you left, right? And so the thing that thing happened to me. I mean, I was in Atlanta for over 20 years, right? And I left Atlanta and then I went back, and it's like life went on without me when I left. And so I want to talk about that. Like, how do you either find your way to fit back in, or do you go to where you feel valued and appreciated? Because sometimes home ain't home anymore. So let's talk about it next week.
Let's talk about that next week. Jason, to answer your question, yes, sir. We are on Facebook Live. If you search our Facebook page, Sex, Intimacy, Power, No Spaces. Just search us in the search box on Facebook, Sex, Intimacy, Power. You should see our Facebook page and the video streams live there as well. So not only do we love it when y'all share the YouTube video and comment here and engage here and like this video and share, but yes, also feel free to give us a shout out or help us to grow by sharing those Facebook live streams as well. But we are doing most of our good stuff over here on the YouTube space, just because we have a little bit more freedom, a little bit more flexibility, and it's easier for more people to find us if they aren't on Facebook. So with that being said, make sure that y'all thinking it through. Where have you left and you're trying to go back, and them people like, fuck you, say, well, won't you back here? Bye.
Right.
You thought you was going back to Golden Child, and that was like, think about that. Tell us about it next week. Send us your thoughts, share your comments with us. But also, again, thank you guys for continuing to share these videos, engaging with us, liking the videos. Make sure that you also subscribe to the channel so that when we go live, you get notified and you don't miss us with our juicy conversations, okay? In these sip streets. And tell us what you sipping on, guys. Next week, make sure that you have something yummy to drink, because we're going to be doing what? We're going to be setting up the foundation for my 45th birthday, y'all. I got a birthday on Friday the 13th, y'all.
Oh, so you a Sagittarius. Just like I didn't even realize today is Lindsay Hunter's birthday. Next week, my son's birthday is the 14th. My dad's birthday is the 18th. My good friend Joy's birthday is the 9th. So I got all these birthdays coming.
Hey, yes, my birthday's on Friday the 13th this year. I always feel a little extra special when that lines up. But anyway, yeah, make sure y'all come with something yummy to drink, because I'm gonna have me something yummy to sip on next week. Okay, because what? Your girl gonna be 45. With that, I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here with us faithfully every week, and we will see y'all next
Next
time.
Next week.
Tuesday.